chucking it down again. We've had maybe, I don't know, probably getting on for 60 mil of rain in the last sort of 2 or 3 days. It's just relentless. It's forecast, it's been forecast a showery time, but we're not really getting showers, we're getting like downpours, which is making me just think that I think the likelihood of us getting any more silaging done is getting slimmer and slimmer. Although the forecast doesn't actually look bad for the next week, but it sort of depends. If it's going to carry on raining now the way it has been the last 3 or 4 days, then we're going to need a dry week before we can even get on the fields again. So yeah, I'm just having a bit of a muck out, taking a bit of muck out of this calf bed because all these gates have fallen over. I need something a bit better. I'm half tempted to put, because I've always got these 2 pens as separate pens, I'm half tempted to put a post in here somewhere and put like a concrete a concrete wall in, and then just have a gate that swings like from here to here, like I don't know, a little 6-foot gate or something, that, or probably bigger, maybe an 8-foot gate, which can hang off one of these posts, so I can let cattle between the 2 pens. I think that would be better, because it's not, the problem is that these posts aren't really strong enough to hang gates. Well, they are, but I just like something a bit more solid really as a pen divide. So I was thinking put a post in and a concrete wall, but I don't know. It was just an idea. I might keep thinking about it yet. This temperature change, we've basically had a 10-degree temperature change within the last couple of days, and it's really knocking these cattle. I've had to give I've lost count now, 5 or 6 of them antibiotics. There's loads of coughing, and it's just not good really. It's very windy today, so it's very fresh in this shed, which is good, but it was cold this morning. It was down to below 10 degrees this morning, and then if the forecast is right, next week it's back up to 20 degrees again. So it's really throwing these cattle around, and also the chickens as well. They really don't like these massive temperature changes. It really knocks them sick. So yeah, but these cattle are doing really well in here. I'm really pleased with this bunch. There's 2 that I've had to jab. One of them's wheezing a lot. That one there, I think it is. He seems all right in himself, but he's obviously had some pneumonia that's damaged its lungs, because it's still breathing very heavy, but it's eating and drinking fine, so I'm hoping it'll pull through. But like, lung damage isn't the sort of thing they get over very quickly. So yeah, there's just a bit of muck building up in here, so instead of bedding them up again, I thought I'll take a couple of loads out, sort these gates out so they're hanging back up again, and then start again with some fresh straw. This tractor, if anyone knows of anyone who's got any 24-inch tyres bigger than that, I think what we're looking for is like a 4, I suppose a 4, the minimum would be a 420, probably 85, but the ideal what we're looking for is like a 450, probably 85 24, or the maximum would be a 480, which is the one that was paired with this, but obviously it's on a 28-inch rim instead of a 24. I'd like to keep the original rims if I could, and just get a new set of tyres. But yeah, other than that, it rides really nice. It's probably added 2 or maybe 3 or 4k road speed onto it. It's noticeably different, faster on the road. This trailer sits a lot level, because we were struggling to tip it when it's fully loaded, because when we put that bigger axle on, the trailer was sloping down at the front, which was making the ram struggling to tip it but now we've put those bigger wheels on. When it's on this tractor, it seems to tip it no problem. Also, when the hitch, you can see the hitch better, because the way that hitch works is it doesn't have a push out hitch on a hydraulic. It comes down, but as it comes down, it like swings out so that you can see it. So now that it's got further to go down, you can actually, when it's nearly near the ground, you can actually see it loads better to hook trailers up. So yeah, happy days. Just put this weekend feeder in place for these calves, just so we can feed them a little bit easier instead of having to fork in silage. So patched it up last night. Hopefully now we can just drop a bale in here and they'll eat the whole bale before it sort of goes off. Just learning how to do it, the best way of doing it really. We're just not sure whether they'll go through the gaps, because they're quite small cattle really for the, and those gaps are quite big. They're for like big cows and bulls really, that sort of size cattle, I would guess. So I'm just a bit worried they'll go through the gaps and then jump out, but we'll just have to keep an eye on them, because there's nothing really, once they get through there's nothing really stopping them from running off. Suppose if we had enough gates we could go put some gates around it, but we haven't. I've just tipped a load of muck on my new field, and it's just an example of how much rain we've had. You can sort of see in this gateway. Don't think we're going to be coming on here mowing within the next day or two. This is one of the fields I definitely do want to cut, because it might not look like it from the camera, but there is a decent crop of grass on here in places. So I do want to get it cut, but it's getting to the point where it's just we've had that much rain in the last 4 days that it's going to be touch and go whether we'll get on here. The forecast looks now absolutely brilliant. It's forecasting 2 full weeks of basically dry weather, apart from the odd bit of drizzle. So with any luck, in a week or so, these puddles will have dried up, but whether it'll have dried up enough to travel on, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But so far the forecast is looking good, but we've had so much rain in the last 4 or 5 days. It's really just potentially ruined any chances we've got of doing a second cut on most of our fields. So we'll see. Just cut some chains off that spreader, just to use around the yard really, as little gate chains. Quite handy to have really, save them going in the scrap. I don't know. We were just looking actually, the shaft, there's a square obviously box shaft in the middle of that spreader, and we were trying to think of something we could use that for to save it being scrapped. And Dan came up with the idea of making a new, I was saying to him the other day, I need a new single leg mole plough making, because I've got this one here that has broken, but it's got a leg on it which we can use, it's got a disc on it that we can use, but this part was rubbish, it bent, and I tried to make it stronger, but eventually the link pins snapped off it. So Dan suggested using the box to make a new frame, basically that really big heavy box, which is actually probably quite a good idea, and then we can reuse the leg and the disc and make a new one sometime. Another project for Dan, as if we haven't got enough projects going on. Got this buck rake, it's for sale if anyone's interested. As far as I'm aware, it's in full working order. There's also an engine out of a Mazda that Dan's trying to flog, which I don't think he's I doubt he's going to get anywhere with them. But this buck rake, there's nothing wrong with, apart from it just needs one tine putting on. This tine snapped, so we've got to try and heat it up to get it off. We've got a spare tine, but it come from my neighbour's, and he's had it from new. I've used it quite a lot. I've done quite a lot of buck raking with it over the years, and as far as I'm aware, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little bit narrow. Only wants to go on a little tractor. It's like 6 or 7 foot wide? I mean, I've had it on my 6.4 before, and it's fine. I mean, you could make it a little bit wider if you wanted. You could put another tine each side. But yeah, if anyone's interested, send me a message, because it's not going to be a lot of money. It'd be like, I don't know, maybe 400 quid, or make me an offer. So yeah, loads of stuff lying, and this log split is also for sale. So yeah, what we're doing now is we're just going to try and get some of these greenhouse posts and start welding them up together, and then we want to maybe start getting some posts in, but we've got to move all those bales of hay, because I think that's where we're going to put it, over there somewhere. So they've all got to be moved. We're just trying to clear some space, tidy the workshop out a bit, and clear some space so that we can lay some legs out and start welding them up. Quite tall, isn't it? Just mowing this. This is a 4th cut. Those are the ruts there where I've just been through. There's some ruts that, I tell you, this is the 4th time we've mowed this field, and they haven't got any less bumpy. But yeah, I've just finally been able to finally see where I'm going now. The sun's just gone down. My windows aren't very clean, as you can see, so it's been a struggle to see where I've been going. This is probably the wettest part of the field. I am just marking the ground a bit here, but the rest of it's been fine. Not a bad crop on here, considering it's 4th cut, and it's had I didn't put any fertiliser on it for this one, so it's only had what feed has been left over from the 3rd cut, 2nd and 3rd cut. So yeah, we've got a dry week forecast now, so I'm going to mow some tonight, maybe a bit more tonight, and then maybe mow a bit more tomorrow, depending on what the ground's like. I still think most of my fields are going to be too wet to travel, but we thought we'd start with this field, because I know this field's mostly dry, and see how we get on. But then, and I'm sort of hoping that they'll be cutting our straw, because it's getting very late now to be we're trying to bale all our straw. There's a combine over there, I don't know whether you can see it in the distance. He's been parked up there for about a week. He must have abandoned that field. I half wondered whether they would be back in there today cutting that, but no one's turned up to drive it, so maybe tomorrow they'll be at it, just to finish off the last of the spring barley, I suppose. So yeah, this loader, the accumulator on this loader is an absolute game changer. Normally I would take the loader off to do anything like this, mowing or field work, but I left it on just to see what it'd be like with the accumulator taking some of the bounce. And yeah, I'm starting to wonder whether I'm ever going to take it off now, because the tractor rides so much better, so much smoother with it on, with the accumulator, than it does without the loader on at all. So yeah, it's a bit of a game changer. Really quite happy with it. So yeah, I might just be leaving this loader on now because it's certainly a much smoother ride. Day 2 of mowing. Very wet. This field's all right, but further up in that corner is very wet. It's going to be a bit of fun getting the bales off here, if we even manage to get it baled, to be honest. But yeah, there's a good bit of grass on here. It's worth cutting. It's just the ground isn't. We're going to struggle to travel, I think. Oh, I always start filming right in the roughest part of the field. But yeah, it's going well. Well, the baler's going well. I don't know about the wrapper. Dan's having difficulties, I think. I think he's, because he's had his box reset, I think he's reset it to factory settings, and now he's just trying to figure out how he had it all set up. It looks like he's managed to wrap a few. Yeah, the baler's going alright. This new box is working. Yeah, it seems to be working well. Counting. I was worried that it wouldn't put enough pressure in the bales if I had it on auto, but it is actually really good. It's as much, if not more, than what I would put in it if I was using it manually. It pretty kills the tractor by the time it beeps. I don't actually know whether you can run it on manual mode. It only seems to be in auto or nothing. So you just have to wait till it beeps and then stop, and then it'll net itself. No, it's going well. The only niggle we've had is the chain keeps coming off the pickup reel. It's only done it once in this field, but I think it either wants a new chain or it wants a link taken out of the chain, because it's relying too much on like a block chain tension, like a nylon block. But yeah, it's going well so far. It's not been a bad crop, really, considering it's 4th cut. 21 bales so far, so it's going to be around about 30 bales, which isn't too bad really for no fertiliser. So yeah. Waiting for the beep. Starts really vibrating the tractor when it's nearly full. Revs have dropped. If you start off sort of 540, 550 PTO speed, by the time it's made a bale, it's usually dropped to about 520, 500. There you are, it's flashing now, so it'll beep now. See it netted because there's a little white wheel spinning around at the front, and then you hear it go bang when the knives drop. So yeah, it's all going well. Hopefully Dan's got the hang of the wrapper, and we'll have some wrap bales to collect by the time I'm done. Dan's just heading out to go and wrap the last few bales. I'm just feeding the calves and hopefully go and fetch some in. I think he's got about 18 more left to do, so to wrap, and they're very wet. The dew at the moment is barely getting gone in the middle of the day before it starts coming back down again, so when you're baling in the evening it's very, very damp. But yeah, then we get these cars fed and maybe go and get some bales. Foggy tonight. Can't see where the bales are. Morning, it's Wednesday. Oh, it's got to be the 18th of September. We're right in the middle of what we think is going to be the last full dry week we're going to get a last cut of grass. So far we baled probably 20 acres yesterday, half of which is at home. The other half of it still needs collecting, it is in fields. We cut another 20 acres yesterday, so we've got 20 acres on the ground to bale today, or maybe tomorrow, some of it. We're hopefully going to mow another maybe 20 acre block today, if we can get going, and just keep doing a bit. We had a bit of a disaster last night. I was coming home late with a load of bales, and the bale trailer decided to collapse. Which I'll show you in a minute. I'll have to crawl underneath it to show you, but basically it collapsed. I was on a single track lane, quite far away from any gateways, all the way to the trailer, sat onto the tyre, just knackered the tyre, and I couldn't move it, so I had to try and jackknife it in the middle of the road and then unload it, and basically one at a time ferry all these bales up this lane, about half a mile up the lane, to where I eventually managed to load them onto another trailer that Dan brought, the little trailer. And we brought them home in like 2 or 3 loads, and then we had to try and jack the trailer off the wheel enough with an old scissor jack, because that's the only one we could fit in the gap, and then drag the trailer home late. I mean, that was late last night, so the bale carting plan didn't really go to plan, and now we're down of a bale trailer, the best one, so we might have to go and borrow a bale trailer this morning. We're hoping to get mowing again. That mower's working all right. We haven't used this other mower yet because we still haven't decided. We haven't bought it yet, and we were unsure about there's a bit of a break on the A-frame that needs welding up, but we don't want to weld it up until we know whether we're buying it or not. So we've left it, but I think today we are going to put it on and see what it looks like, because it'd be handy if we can get 2 mowers going, because mowing's very time consuming. So the ongoing saga of Dan's case tyres, we've had the back ones on obviously for a week or two now. They've been fine, apart from one of them started leaking air because we did a repair on the tube, the old tubes that were in the original tyres, which was something like this. Don't know whether you can see, but basically it cracked right next to the valve. We didn't have a valve to do it tubeless, and we didn't have a spare tube, and it was like a Sunday when we did it as usual, so we sort of punched a hole in a patch and glued it on and put it on, and it worked, and it was been fine for a week. And obviously we thought because we got away with it, we didn't think to order any valves or new spare tubes, because we've just been busy. So it started leaking, and yeah, it's getting worse and worse. So all day yesterday Dan was trying to rake and wrap bales, and he had to keep coming home every hour or two to blow up his tyre. So that's what we're going to try and fix today. The front tyres, we got this set. This is a 480/70 and those ones are 520s, 520/70s. So we got the set off a guy in Derbyshire, nice bloke. They come off 6130R. I really only wanted the front ones, but he wanted to get rid of the whole set, so we did quite a good deal on them, and we took the back ones as well because they would be an upgrade for the John Deere, slightly wider back tyre. So we were a bit unsure of whether to put the whole set on the John Deere and take the ones that are off the John Deere and put them on the front, which are narrower than them, but in the end we decided that was a bit of a faff. So we've just put these on so that we can use it in four-wheel drive. And what happened? Oh, one of the inner tubes did the same thing. It split right next to the valve, and of course we still hadn't been prepared and ordered any spare tubes or valves. So that was a bit of a drama over the last couple of days. But basically, Dan went to a tyre place yesterday, managed to get one valve, so we put one tyre on. We fixed the inner tube on the other one, so we've got two front tyres working. But the tyre place he went to only had one valve, so we couldn't fix the back tyre. We've ordered a tube, but it still hasn't turned up. We were hoping it was going to be here today. So he's been to a different tyre place this morning, got another valve, or a couple of valves, and then we're just going to take the broken tube out and just because in theory these tyres should be tubeless. They were before we bought them. So we're just going to put a valve in and hope that it saves us. So that's this morning's job, and then hopefully we can get mowing and fetch the rest of the bales in and continue. Still no word on the straw. We're supposed to be having 50 odd acres of straw, spring barley, but the chap I spoke to, the farmer, told me he'd give me a couple of days notice. I can't believe that he's not cutting it. This will be the third dry day in a row. So very odd that I haven't heard anything about that, but in the meantime we're just going to keep going with the grass. Fields are very tender in places. We've basically done the dry bits, so today we'll be mowing some stuff that's probably not quite as good to travel on, but hopefully with it having a couple of dry days we'll be able to get on them. If needs be, we'll use that mower with that tractor with the bigger wheels. It won't make as much mess maybe. So we'll change this tyre and then see how the day progresses. Dan's been fiddling with the lights on the back as well. He's got an LED light on the top of there, which I think degrades it a bit, devalues it, but he obviously doesn't think they're bright enough. They aren't very bright, to be honest. You might as well just have candles. So you might be able to see what he's doing. I presume you're going to put another one on, are you?
I will, but I need to make another bracket.
Oh, he's had to make the bracket to mount it. That's obviously what he's been doing all morning. But yeah, this tractor looks loads better on these tyres, we think. And he's tried it in four-wheel drive with those tyres on. He says it doesn't wind up or scrub at all, so that's obviously a match for that tractor. If anyone's wondering, the 580/70s, and on the front they're 480/70s, so good match. So yeah, we're just out mowing. Dan's made a start in this field. We've welded up that mower, and it's honestly, well, I've done a couple of runs round with the tariff on that tractor, and but Dan's done the majority of this. These two are my mower, the tariff, and then everything here has been mowed by Dan, and he's just barely marked the ground at all. To be honest, it sounds like he's even. It sounds as though he's got it in the thousands shaft, just ticking over. I told him to run it at 540, but it's not using any power at all, and it's making such a better job than our mower because it's not churning the ground up You haven't got all the weight on the mower that's pushing down on the skids, which smears the ground. Oh, it just makes such a better... I honestly do think, for the conditions that I have here on my fields, that's the best setup, is a mounted non-conditioned mower, just to keep the weight down. And also if you're making hay around here, it's easier just to go and ted it out than carry all the extra weight of a conditioner, I think. I mean, look at the mess my mower's made here, skidding on the ground. I've done these 3. As you get towards the woods, it gets wetter and wetter. And then Dan's done these here, and it's not marked the ground anywhere near as bad, even though it's wetter ground here. But yeah, I think this mower's great in a dry time in a big crop, but on a wet field, back end, it's no good. Just makes too much mess. And also every time you turn, so if you came down here, you have to back up right up over what you've already mowed, and then take a big wide sweep round to go round a corner, whereas Dan will just lift up, back up a bit and drop it down and go again. So he's not driving over the grass anywhere near as much. Every time I have to back up over the grass, I'm potentially just treading it into the ground on a wet field. So yeah, we've mowed that field right over there, which hopefully we're going to bale tomorrow. I was just going to see if you can have a look at this trailer this morning. The weather's turned against us. We were supposed to have a dry day today, and it's changed now, and it's cloudy and foggy, and there's a chance of rain this afternoon. So we've got loads of grass still down to bale that we were hoping to do either today or tomorrow, and we've got straw to go and bale, but it's very damp, doing nothing sort of foggy day. Dan's going to have a look and see if we can do some sort of a quick fix on this trailer, but we're not sure yet, because basically it wants pulling straight, taking the wheels off, trying to bend what is bent back straight again, and then welding some extra bits on to strengthen it. So we'll see how he gets on. So it's the next day. We've been we did a bit of baling last night, some of which, no, I don't think there's any there. They were from the night before. We've had three nights of baling in a row. It's been going all right. Baler's been working fine. I've just gone to make a start on some straw, and it was really packing the straw in to a bale, and I was just thinking it's not going to do the baler any good, this, and I was thinking I'd better loosen the pressure off after this last bale, and then it went bang and it snapped the chain. This chain was completely knackered. So Dan's just been up and found that the chain on the other baler, the 200 broken baler, is in much better nick. So he's brought that one down, but it's just 2 links too short. We can't join it up, so he's having to pinch a couple of links off the original chain. But yeah, it's been baling straw really well. Spring barley, there's a hell of a crop. I'm really surprised how well it's going. This tractor's boom's dropped for some reason. Yeah, we had a go with this trailer this morning. I'll show you now. This is what happened to it. So this is crumpled under load. It should look like that. So what we did this morning was we got like a chain around it with a plate on, and then we had this side of the trailer fastened to that tractor with a strap, and then we had the JCB pulling the bar this to try and straighten it out, because we thought if we could get it straight we can weld something up here, maybe both sides, to strengthen it, and then we'll be back in business. But no, we couldn't get it to move. We had the JCB anchored down to the case tractor, we had the John Deere anchored down to a tree, and with all the power of the JCB boom, it wouldn't budge that. So we got a bit fed up in the end, and we had to abandon it because the weather's messing us about. So we had to go make a start baling. They've started cutting our straw, so I bale about 20 bales, and it's lovely stuff. But I am going to have to slacken this baler off, because it was just as I was getting into the field and the straw was getting drier, it was just killing the tractor, you know, trying to fill it up enough to trip the density. It was just almost stalling the tractor every time, so I'm going to have to slacken the tension off if we can get it going again anyway. So yeah, we're down to one little bale trailer. We've got a couple of bales to fetch. Dan's rode up 10 acres of grass that we were hoping to bale, but we don't know whether we'll get that far. So yeah, happy days. Well, we're back at it. The problem I'm having now, the baler's working fine, but the problem I'm having is that it's such a big swath of straw. It's catching on the drawbar, and it's balling up into big heaps underneath the tractor, and then it's trying to go into the baler in a big lump. Not really sure what I can do about that. I can do with a bag. I need to tie a bag around the bin. Yeah, I've slackened the tension off on the baler a bit. It seems okay. It's still making a nice solid bale, but it's not stalling the tractor. Just a monstrous crop of straw. The spring barley, and it's, well, I mean, it's a good crop of straw, but it doesn't help that it's got a massive, it's like a 30-foot header on the combine, and it's not a rotary combine, it's a water combine, so it leaves a really big fluffy row, and it's just, yeah, it's too much to drive over really. Need one of them front rollers to put on the front of your tractor to squash the swath down as you're going along. I tried to put my grab down, because I've still got the squeezy grab on. I tried to put that down just pushing against the straw, but it didn't. It just ended up balling it up the same as the tractor did. I don't know what to do really. I'm half tempted to just keep doing headlands and do smaller swaths, and then when Dan comes with a trailer, I don't know whether you can see what's happening. This is what's happening. It catches on the hitch, and then it goes into the baler in a big lump. Sometimes it catches so badly it just drags along underneath your tractor, so you have to really watch it. Dan's arrived with the Bogmaster 5130, just squashing down these big swaths. It's baling lovely now. Put a bag on the hitch. So yeah, it's baling loads like that. Yeah, there's not a good a crop. I've been and done the headland in that field next door, and there's nowhere near as good a crop in there, so I don't think we'll have any trouble baling that. So yeah, we'll just see how we get on. Dan's brought the trailer, so I might throw a few bales on so we can take them home. Dan's got a big load on, gone for a full one. So I think he's a bit keen on that trailer, but we'll see. Back at it, it's the next day now. What day is it today? Saturday today. This is the last morning we've got. It's forecast rain this afternoon. It's saying 3 o'clock. Dan's forecast says 6 o'clock, so hopefully it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, I've just dropped the bale off this tractor, and Dan's put it on the case because there's nothing really Dan can do now because well, he could have rode some grass up, but we don't know what to do. What do you do? It feels like something's going to get wet, either the grass that we've got down or this straw. So we tried to bale some grass this morning. We did 5-acre piece, and then we went to do another 4-acre bit, and then there was some car park in the way, so we couldn't even get into the field. Which is annoying because that's all rode up, ready to go. Dan rode it up yesterday. Apparently it's moved now, but we decided to come after we couldn't get in there. We decided to start baling straw again. There's another. We've nearly finished this piece, so we've done more than half of it now. There's another field to do. Well, 2 little bits to do. So I think we'll just keep going with the straw, get it all baled, and take our chances with the grass. I don't really want to have to come and start turning straw, so it'd be nice to have it baled, even if we don't get it carted. I'm probably not going to cart all this now. Dan's just brought a trailer to come and swap me, so I might as well take it back. So I'm going to take a load back, and then I'm going to go and move some rack bales that have been baled a couple of days. Just before they get pecked with birds. The main thing is to keep the baler going, which hopefully Dan will do. Doesn't look like he's pushing it very hard, but he has just blocked it, so he'll be going steady for a bit. It's probably not as nice on that track because there's not as many, well, it's not as easy to change gear as it is on this one. I mean, it's got plenty of gears, but you've got some clutch to change, which isn't ideal when you're baling. He's just stopped now to change off the gear because the swap's got smaller. Because we keep accidentally resetting the counter. I've done it once and Dan's done it once. I think there must be well over 50. Getting on for sort of 70, I would say, with what I've done this morning. Yeah, I don't know whether that's a good crop or not. We're definitely packing the bales as tight as we can pack them, to the point where I think I said yesterday I had to slacken the bale off a bit to just get installing the traction. Anyway, I'm going to take this load of bales home and move some silage bales, I think, before they get picked. Just on my way back to another load of straw. I've been carting silage and it's gone black, very black. About to chop it down anyway. Dan's been baling away as fast as he could, but I don't think he's going to get it finished before it rains, and we haven't done any more on the grass. I haven't rode it off, we didn't even bother roading it off. I was going to if I thought that he would get the straw done. I'd have had the grass rode up ready, but load of bales. So just coming up here on in the car to try and keep the job rolling. Yeah, black. Well, it's about 6:30, I think, and it's been raining now for a good hour. We didn't quite finish the straw. I think he had a couple of runs left to do in the field, and that's it, which I think is pretty good. It's a shame he didn't get it finished, but he said it got so wet he didn't want to go through the baler, so he's had to call it off. I've just got the last load. I've got 5 bales on my trailer. This is the last load of wrap bales fetched in. So not a bad day really. We've had a pretty good go at it. We've got about 10 acres down, grass down. 4 acres of it is rowed up. The rest of it's just in lower swaths, so that's going to be getting wet. But I'm glad we got most of the straw bale. That's really good. Managed to cart back. Well, altogether we've carted back 3 loads. So some in the shed dry. Got all my silage in, so quite pleased. Been a good day. Could have been a lot worse. It was forecast rain at 3 o'clock and we didn't get it till 5, so can't really complain of that. But it's fairly wet now. Water running off the roads. So that'll probably be the end of this video. It's probably gone on long enough. So we're getting towards the end of September. September's just disappeared. It's really come and gone September. We wanted to have a go at some hedges now. We can get them in the fields to do them. Unfortunately, the hedge cutter's got to go on this tractor. Get on them, not on any fields, we will get on them and do some clear them. Now we've got the grass out of the way, it doesn't really matter too much if we make a mess, but we'll see how we get on. Yeah, all in all, pretty pleased with the baler, pleased with the racker, although Dan's having it. Sometimes he says it'll rack like 10 in a row, and then other times it'll just rip the rack on every bale. It's one of them, you can't really figure out what the problem is. I think it might be the rack, whether we should try a slightly better quality rack. But I don't know, we'll see. No, it's certainly been an eye-opening experience trying to bale our own silage. Whereas normally I just throw it off, and then my friend comes with a fusion and bale and wraps it, and I just cart bales home on my own, and it's no big deal. But trying to do your mowing, your raking, your baling, your wrapping and your bale carting, even with an extra person having that, it's a hell of a job. It's a much bigger job. But we've also done before like 3 times, if not more, the amount of straw that we can normally buy, and we've nearly managed to bale all of it with the round baler, so we wouldn't really touch it with a small baler, never mind get got the carting loaded up, so they'll be alright, sat out in the rain. We've got plenty of net on them, so it should be alright until we get another dry spell to get clear them off. Hopefully by then I'll have made a bit of space in the yard. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.